help us navigate no status, some status, high status, what separates us, and how do we get more of what we want?
Absolutely. So let's start with a definition of what status is. So power is controlling resources. Status is being respected and regarded by your audience, how much other people respect and regard you. So it's a judgment that exists only in other people's minds. But that judgment, when we become aware of it, has a real impact on our quality of life. Again, we seek to live a life where other people value us. And when we know we're valued, it helps our lives. We, again, physical and mental health. When we know we're not valued, we're not respected, it hurts our life. So that's what it is. It's getting other people to respect and highly regard us. Now, you can say, right, there's a variety of things we can start to understand with that definition. First, as I move throughout my day, I confront different audiences. In some, they might look at me as a person they highly respect. And then in others, not naming names, but I've got 3 kids, like I go into another audience and no one seems to respect anything I have to say. So that's one thing, is as our audience changes, our status changes. And some people start out in a relationship with more status than others. So status is going to come from 2 things. In psychology, we call them ascribed and achieved, but I think the easier way is to just call them like things you don't control and things you control. So some of our status is affected by things we don't really control. Gender is a status characteristic. Race is. Appearance is. Height is. Ethnicity. Accent, all kinds of things could affect that another person sees us and says, wow, I really regard that person. And those things are not controllable. And they generally, for the most part, not controllable. And they generally don't have a real meaning for how, capable somebody actually is. But we give them meaning. Society has given them meaning.
Got it.
Then there are things that we call them achieved, but they are more controllable. So an educational credential, for example, could be a form of status that, okay, I have a PhD in organizational behavior. Maybe some people would say, oh, I'm more likely to respect Allison's thoughts on the science of human behavior at work because she has the PhD. Well, that would be controllable by me and an indicator of my respect. But a lot of other things that are way less work than getting a PhD are also controllable indicators of status, right? How I speak, right? My verbals and my nonverbals. How I interact with other people. Like, am I friendly to them? Am I complimenting them? Am I giving some advice? So we can, as we unpack it, we can get an almost limitless set of behaviors that we could have access to and pull from, like a really long, like Cheesecake Factory menu, right? Remember the Cheesecake Factory? Like just so many things, right?
I hate to remember it, but I remember it.
Yes. Right? You're like, this thing has like subsections. Anyway, that you can pull from. And you're like, from this menu are all of these controllable things that I could use to impact how other people respect me. And most of those things do not involve like working harder. It's simply tweaking the way another person looks at you as they're deciding how much they respect you. So we've got the uncontrollable and the controllable.